There I am. Wow. Now I don't have to yell. It's an interesting story, so we'll talk about that. Originally it was supposed to say a Brutor guide to Empyrean health. That's what it still says on the guide. So the story there is, since starting to write the presentation, what ended up happening was, and I guess, we can go now. There's the cue, right? What ended up happening is that, just a bit about me, my name's Marcus. Hi, everybody. Hi. I play a character called Roc Wieler. Some of you may have heard of me, some of you may not have heard of me. I guess what prompted this, and what I'm most known for in Eve in the last couple of years, because, you never quit Eve, but you kind of stray sometimes, is that I was a fat guy that was motivated enough by my avatar to transform myself into this, right? So I'm not a fat guy anymore, is basically what I'm saying. And it's an interesting story. It's called the Proteus effect. It's when you use something virtual to change your reality, right? It's a very interesting psychological thing. So that's what I was going to talk about. It was on CNN. It was a big deal a couple of years ago, and I just wanted to encourage people about how it's really easy to take all the skills and disciplines we learn in Eve and actually apply those to yourself so that you can get into better physical shape. But that's not what that says. That says more awesome than you ever knew. And the reason for that is as I was constructing the thoughts around this, I was doing the presentation and coming up with it in my mind, I realized that this was all around 5 years ago that this process started for me, and the physical health was really just a small portion of my entire life transformation. And that's more what I wanted to talk about because it's more important. It's more important to me than the physical health is everything else that goes with it. So let's just jump in. How's that sound? We all know Eve is awesome, right? We get that. And we all know that the Valkyrie presentation was awesome. That was pretty cool, right? And we all know Roc is awesome, or else you wouldn't be here. Or maybe you would, who knows? But here's something I'm going to tell you for fact. I am actually the most awesome person you will ever meet. And so are you. But a lot of people don't realize that about themselves, right? So I'm going to ask a quick question. What is the observable difference between someone faking confidence and someone who is actually confident? There is no difference. So why not just be confident, whether it's real or not, right? But we're also busy sometimes just getting down on ourselves and looking down on ourselves and always focusing on the negatives. And it can really drag us down. And in a way, that's why gaming and opportunities like Eve exist, because it gives us an escape from that reality that just keeps beating down on us. It lets us be something that we want to be. Like, for example, Roc again. He's a aggrandizing, womanizing, arrogant, military type of gruff guy. That's who he is. He's like Duke Nukem in space, right? That's not me, but there's a lot of things about that are like the superlative version of things I thought I would want to be. I would want to be that guy that all the women adored and all the men were jealous of. Like that's, because we aren't always confident with who we are. We don't always realize our own awesome. So that's what this is about. I'm not going to focus specifically on Eve, but everything we're talking about here, and I might give examples because it applies to Eve, but more importantly, it's going to apply to each and every one of your lives. And if at the end of it, even one of you agrees with me, then it was worthwhile. And if the rest of you are just like, whatever, that guy's just another Tony Robbins type of, be positive guy, then so be it. You can take what you want from it. I'm here just to share a little bit. So the first thing is, what is awesome? I'm just going to ask you, what is awesome to you? Yeah. Okay, what else is awesome? How do you define awesome? How about there? Sex is awesome, right? We play Eve, so we all know that's not happening. Okay? Someone in the back, just somebody yell out your definition of awesome. Or don't.
Having control over your choices in life.
That is actually pretty awesome, right? And I asked some people. I asked the Matani, and for him, it was accomplishing your goals, right? I asked some people on Facebook and got all kinds of different answers. So my personal answer for that, and my life philosophy now, is that every life I interact with is to leave it better off than I found it. If I can accomplish that, then I have done something awesome. If I can talk with you for 25 minutes and you walk away saying, I was better off now than I was before I met that guy, then I've done something awesome. So that's how I live my life now. But the actual definition of awesome is not just about accomplishing your goals. It's not about making someone's life better. Someone even said, being awesome is not having to say you're awesome. Okay? And that may work for them. Sales and marketing tells you, like if you're in a workplace, how many people have jobs here? Everyone? Most everyone? Okay. In sales and marketing, they tell you that if you want to progress in the workplace, it's good to be all about team and everything, but you also have to make sure people know what your accomplishments are. Because if you don't let people know, who is? Right? But we don't do that for ourselves a lot. And even as children, our parents nurture us to be confident, to stand up, to get noticed, to take pride in what we do. But as we transform into adults and we do that, society and the world in general says, you're arrogant and cocky. Who do you think you are? And so we stop doing that. It's just a really contrary thing. There's nothing wrong with being confident, right? So awesome literally means to elicit awe. And the interesting thing about being awesome is it's redefined each and every day. Because once you think you've achieved awesome, then what's next, right? You always have to be moving forward in life. If you look at nature, there's only two states in nature. There's growth and death. Right? Has anyone ever watched a plant just kind of decide, I'm going to stay like this for the next 2 years? It doesn't do it. There's no stagnation. We are the only ones that do that. We let ourselves go. We stagnate. We just kind of go through that whole rat race, and we don't really want to or know how to become awesome. Right? So let's talk about that. Inspiring awe with who you are. Okay? Now, I don't have enough time. That's the other thing I realized when I was creating this presentation. I could probably talk for an hour, maybe two. Do I get that? No? No? Okay, so I've got probably about 15 minutes to try and get through it. So I'm not going to just read bullet points. We're just going to talk, but I'm going to put all of this on my blog. And it's not the presentation, but all the notes around it. And it's probably going to be a good hour, 2-hour read for you, but hopefully, again, it'll be something you find useful. So how do you inspire awe with who you are? The most important thing is to develop the aspects of yourself that aren't so awesome, right? I mean, if you see stuff in yourself that's keeping you from being awesome, you have no one to blame except for you for not developing it. So for me, on that physical front, I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like that I would go up a set of stairs and be wheezing, right? I didn't like that I couldn't go 20 minutes without smoking. I didn't like that when I saw a bag of Cheetos that I had to mix it with a big bowl of ice cream, and that was just delicious to me, right? Everyone else like Cheetos and ice cream? And it just, the way I looked made me feel bad about myself as a person, right? Maybe you can relate to that, maybe you can't, but I started to change it. And as I noticed, I started to get more energy in my life. I quit smoking. I still occasionally eat Cheetos and ice cream, but not as much. But I noticed that as I started to like how I looked, I started to feel better about who I was as a person. And that person didn't really change magically. I was still me, but I was starting to see a better version of myself. And that goes back to the whole avatar thing, right? A better version of ourselves. I mean, when you have the opportunity to make either a male or female, just super heroic looking avatar, or you have the choice to make them fat and out of shape, what are you going to do? Chances are you're going to make the super heroic one, because that's why we have heroes. That's why we have things to aspire to, right? So that's what I did. Be optimistic. Enjoy life, right? Whether you're religious and believe in prayer, or whether you believe in energy and vibrations in the cosmic universe, what you put out is what comes back, and karma and all of that, negative attracts negative. It really does. Positive attracts positive. So surround yourself with positive. Be positive. There you go. There's the Tony Robbins part we talked about at the beginning. Be positive. Enjoy life and own life. What does owning life mean? I will tell you what owning life means. Owning life really simply means that wherever you are, be there as if that is your purpose. Right now, I own this spot. This is my life. You are here enjoying me, but I own it. I am embracing this. I am really happy. I was taking pictures before you all got in because this is exciting for me. I get a chance to share. How often does that happen? Could have been any of you guys. How many of you applied to do this? Right? Well, yeah. But why not? But why not? What keeps you from doing it, right? So again, that could be part of how to improve your own awesome. Find more things to laugh about. It's good to laugh. People that don't laugh generally aren't as happy, right? Reader's Digest says it for 1,000 billion years they've been in business, that laughter is the best medicine. They have a whole section on that. If you don't laugh and laugh easily and often, you need to find more things to make you laugh. It's important. And passion is important. We're not talking just about sex. Sex is good. I love sex. But passion. Find something to be passionate about. I'm gathering that I can guess at least one thing some of us here might have in common as a passion. Alcohol was what I was going for. You ruined it for me. But also Eve, right? So we have something we're passionate about, but we should be more passionate about ourselves and things that we enjoy, right? If you don't have passions in life, then are you really living? And you want to live. Living is important. Part of that is facing fears and overcoming it with confidence. Remember we just talked a minute ago about fake confidence versus real confidence? I'm going to let you know something. I'm actually kind of nervous right now. I'm nervous because the character of Roc Wieler, like I said, he's arrogant. And even this morning, I'm reading Twitter and I'm seeing people up there going, that guy sounds like such an arrogant word that I'm not going to say. Never met me, but he only knows the character. And that really, kind of upsets me, and it makes me nervous and think, oh, is that what everyone's going to think here? Is anyone even going to show up for this, right? But again, I'm trying to project that fake confidence because I do have some, and I've learned how to fake it until I make it for the rest. And incidentally, right after that, someone who did happen to meet me for the first time said, he really isn't like that. He just comes across as confident and enthusiastic. So passion and confidence. So I must be doing something right for myself. And that made me feel good. Okay, so that's how you face your fears. You can't run from them. You can't let them overwhelm you. You can't escape from them into this universe that we all love. Face them, grow from them. Because usually those fears end up becoming very small things later on. And I say that from experience. They become very, very small things. First time I went to a gym. Don't know if you've ever been out of shape and ever want to go to a gym. And I walked in and I swear to God, the women had bigger muscles than me. Like everybody did. And it was intimidating. And the first time I went to try to do something, I didn't know if I was doing it right. And I thought everybody was staring at me, and I thought people were whispering about me. And every time I would look at someone, I'd see them like looking and then look away, and I was like, oh, am I just making a fool of myself? But I persisted. And I did what you should do with your job, or anything in life. You educate yourself. You get help from people that know better. So I got a trainer, right? And I found out there's bad trainers too. But I learned, and I just stayed at it until I got to that level of confidence. You just fake it until you get to that level. The other day I was in the gym, and it was a nice thing because this kid came up to me out of shape, and I hadn't seen him before, but he came up to me just as I was getting my gloves on, getting ready to go, and he says, hey, when you're doing deadlifts, are you supposed to lock your legs out, or are you supposed to bend them slightly? So I gave him some tips, and we did a couple together, and then I said to him, I said, why did you come and ask me? And he said, well, you're the biggest guy here. Obviously, it was a good time of day, but that made me feel good, and that boosts your confidence, right? So you should take things where you can get them to make your life awesome, okay? Awesome is important. Be funny. Actually, no, be hilarious, right? Especially if you're ugly, right? Come on, that was supposed to be funny, and none of you laughed. Thank you. There was a gym sign I saw once, and it was the best gym sign ever, and it said, tired of being fat and ugly? Just be ugly. Because you can't always control that, right? We get what we get, and you can kind of change it a bit, which we'll talk about in a second, but you are stuck with what you've been given. So take it and change it into something no one would expect, right? Be funny. Be the life of the party. Be that guy or girl that everybody looks forward to seeing because they know there's going to be great stories coming, right? Relate to people through stories, right? Make them laugh about your own life experiences or empathize with you because we can all relate to stories. Like right now, I'm going to ask, and you don't even have to answer. I'm telling you a story about a guy that wasn't entirely happy with himself and wanted to change it and wasn't sure how. I wonder if anyone else here can relate to that, right? Doesn't have to be some big doctorate study or anything. It can just be two people talking, okay? Be adventurous. We're in Iceland during snowstorms. How many heard that really weird air raid siren at 3 a.m. in the morning? Like, what was that? I mean, that terrified me, and I don't know, I thought we were under attack or the volcano was exploding. But, being in Iceland, this is adventurous. So you're already on your way. And again, this is just to reinforce that we already have the tools. We already have the tools to do these things, right? And just really quickly, because I said we'll relate it to Eve, just quickly look at these bullet points. I'm not even going to say anything about them, but all of this applies to your Eve relationships as well. It's real people, right? Eve is real. So being funny and core, everybody loves that guy. Being adventurous and trying new things in the game, people love that. Enjoying life. Who keeps logging into Eve just because they hate Eve? Of course you don't. Well, okay, maybe you do. But most people find something they enjoy about the game, right? That's addiction. That's a separate seminar later. Okay? So it's important to be adventurous and always continue growing. Remember, we talked about that. You're either growing or you're dying. There's no stagnation. Okay? What's the next slide say? Right. There's a lot of them. Have the courage to stand up for yourself and others. Most people are willing to stand up for others. How you doing? Most people are willing to stand up for others, but not so much willing to stand up for themselves. You should. Stand up, get taken notice of, right? Smile at the camera. Have fun with it. It's important. Be of high character and moral value. Do what you say. Do what you say. Speak with integrity. Be consistent. That's the key. Be consistent. Estee Lauder. Anyone ever heard of that company? Right? She was once asked what her secret to success was. And she said, I just outlasted everybody else. Right? Just be consistent. Just keep going. And eventually, here, I'm going to rant now. I told you, I might not even get through the slides, and that's okay, I think. We are creatures of habit. And some people have talked to me and they said, Roc, I think it's great, or Marcus, I'm just going to call myself Marcus if that's okay. Marcus, it's great that you did this for yourself, but I've tried to go to the gym and I just didn't have the willpower to make it stick. Or I've tried to eat healthy and I didn't have the willpower to make it stick. And I look at them and I say, I have absolutely no willpower whatsoever. What's your next excuse? Because it's not about willpower. We're all creatures of habit. And I'm going to give a really quick example. How many of you have gone to the washroom in the last 2 days? Number 2. Anyone? Right? Had a number 2 in the bathroom. Go ahead, put your hands up. We all do it, right? We have kids' books that tell us that. And how many of you forgot to wipe? Okay, 1. Same guy. Incidentally, the same guy that likes sex. Okay, so, but there was a point in your life, like you didn't consciously think about it, right? You didn't have to sit there and go, okay, I need to take the square, fold the square, or maybe you learned to bunch it up. There's different methods, but you didn't have to think about it. And you didn't decide, am I going to use my left hand today, my right hand, both hands? Is it under? Is it behind? Like, you don't think about that. It's just a habit at this point, right? But there was a time in your life when you had no clue and there, you're done. Like, you had no idea. But you learned, and it became a habit, and now you never give it another thought. That's the same for anything in life. Anything. The problem is that we already have bad habits. The willpower comes in to break that bad habit long enough for the new habit to take place, right? I actually can't not get up at 5:30 in the morning. It drives my wife insane, but I can't not do it and go to the gym. It's a habit, just like wiping myself. I have to do it. And I don't always enjoy it. It's just part of who I am now. Same with being awesome, right? Like this event that we're at together. Yeah, it's about Eve, but for me, it's always been about the people. And there's my 5-minute warning. Wow. And you can call me on this if you want. Really, 5 minutes already? You can call me on this if you want, but I am going to make a promise to you that if you come up and want to talk to me, I'm going to make time for you. Because how else am I going to meet my own mandate of hopefully leaving your life better off than when I met it? So I have to do that, and that's a habit I have now. I love listening to people. I do. And now we're just going to try to motor through some stuff. How's that sound? Unlock your inner awesome. Yeah, it's totally Tony Rowe. Okay, style. Style is important. Up your game, gentlemen especially, right? Learn to brush more than once a day. Learn to floss. That's that thing you do to improve your hygiene. Manscaping. Find a fashion that works for you. T-shirt and jeans. I see some. Doesn't cut it, right? Get something tailored. Get something styled. And I'm not just saying it because it's like, suit up and be all that, but you need to feel good about you. Right? I work from home sometimes. I still get up, I still shower, I still shave, I still groom, I still put on a nice set of clothes, spray some cologne on. I never used to do any of that, but you know what? When I sit down at my desk, I feel like somebody important. Right? Maybe it's shallow, works for me, but it makes me feel good about who I am. Right? That's what you need to do. And you don't have to have my style. Find your own. Right? Like the Matani, for example. He dresses fairly well, but all he ever wants to wear is red shirts. That's his trademark style, and he made it work for him. Good for him. Right? He's got a style. So find a style that works for you. Make a list of qualities you find awesome in others. Surround yourself with people. How many of you have that one friend that always drags you down no matter what you do? Does anyone have that friend?
I am that friend.
Yeah. Get rid of that friend. No, seriously, go. You have to get rid of that friend. You want to surround yourself with people that believe in you and will support you no matter what you do and no matter how many times you fail. And don't ever think that failing is not part of success, because it is, okay? More examples of being a role model. Who's heard of Sindel Pellion and the Angel Project in Eve, right? So what she did, yeah, exactly. And that's an example of giving. Now, she's also an amazing person in real life, pretty awesome and very giving in real life. See the symmetries there? It's the same. In-game, out-of-game, it's all the same. Be giving, right? If you're religious, get involved with your church groups. Or if you're not religious, do something charitable. Like, give of your time. I'm not talking give money, right? I mean, money's fine, but money's easy. Maybe not for everybody, but it's easier to give money than to give our time. So give your time. You'll learn more from it. Something else I've been doing this week on my Facebook page is talking to strangers here in Reykjavik to actually hear their stories. I've just never done it. And again, I'm really finding out some wonderful things that I never would have if I hadn't taken the time. So take the time. Talked about this just now. I love that one. Brush your teeth more than once a day, pig. Right? Like, hygiene is important. It is. Ladies, is hygiene important in a man? Yeah. Right? Can we all up our game a bit that way? It's really important, right? And that's just talking about mouthwash. We talked about all kinds of stuff. I've got 3 minutes. I see it. Okay? So here's some tips on being awesome. Again, this is all going to go on the blog, so I'm sorry that it's rushed. I just really wanted to talk about more than, how many push-ups I can do. And by the way, it's 37 in a row. Be a leader, not a follower. Best leaders are followers, but be a leader. Right? A lot of us consider ourselves leaders, but how many others would actually consider us a leader? And it's the same again. EVE Online, real life, you're either the FC or the view's the same, right? You're seeing the back end of things, and that's never any good. Follow your convictions. Even if people don't agree with you, they'll respect you for it. And you'll always have haters, but usually that's about them. Because again, you don't know their story. You don't know what they're going through. So what they might be projecting outwards to you, don't take that, because that could be their issues. Try to hear what's not being said, right? Just remember that you are awesome. That's really what it's coming down to. Be awesome for the sake of being awesome. So that's the one last thing I'm going to talk about, because I'm almost out of time. The difference between cockiness, arrogance, all of that kind of stuff, and why it gets confusing for people, okay? I have no problem telling you I'm awesome, because I deeply know I'm awesome, and if you spend time with me, you'll agree. But I'm not going to go around to every single person and say, hi, I'm Marcus and I'm awesome, right? I don't walk around with a peacock chest. I stand tall because I believe in good posture makes a difference, right? It's part of that confidence thing. But I don't need to shove it down people's throat. I don't do it for everyone else. I do it for myself. I do it because it's made my life better. I would have, the last 6 years of my life, if I was then looking now, first of all, this me thanks me for making this journey. Because I have no idea what my life would be where it is right now. I've got a beautiful young wife. I've got an amazing career. Right? I've got wonderful friends. I have more personal power than I ever thought. I love my sense of fashion. I get looked at, and it makes me feel great. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm 43 years old, and I'm in the healthiest shape of my life. That should tell you that I wasn't really in good shape earlier, right? But I'm really happy, and I never thought I would be here, standing, talking to you. I couldn't have imagined any of this. But I made a plan, and I just started seeing that plan through. Like, learn to reward yourself. Learn to set goals. Learn to just start to be more awesome. And I've literally got 1 minute. So we're just going to cover things really quickly. I know that I said that would be the last thing I said. But here you go. Awesome warnings. Don't try to be someone you're not. Right? Figure out who you are. Who is your awesome? Don't be me, because I'm much better at it than you are. Okay? Don't do stupid things. Don't be adult. Right? Like, don't let your phone ring during your presentation, because that's embarrassing. Language, right? You could be the most intelligent person in the world, but if you're swearing all the time, it just doesn't sound nice. Right? Similarly, try to up your game language-wise, improve your vocabulary. Knowledge can actually be awesome. Right? Don't give out free things. We talked about that. Like, charity is one thing, but when you give out free things, people start to expect it from you, and it's 2:30, I gotta go. So, bottom line is, thank you. Be awesome. And if you want to talk at all, I would love to sit down and talk with you more. And again, I'm sorry that presentation's just all over the place, but that's how life can be sometimes, right? It's messy, it's fun, it's awesome, and I just appreciate that you chose me instead of CCP Fozzie. Thanks.